Deuteronomy chapter 32, Holman Christian Standard Bible. Listen, pay attention to heavens, and I will speak. Listen, earth, to the words of my mouth. Let my teaching fall like rain, and my words settle like dew, like gentle rain on new grass and showers on tender plants. For I will proclaim Yahweh's name, declare the greatness of our God. The rock, his work is perfect. All his ways are entirely just. All faithful God without justice, without a faithful God without prejudice. He is righteous and true. His people have acted corruptly toward him. This is their defect. They are not his children, but a devious and crooked generation. Is this how you repay the Lord? Is it, you foolish and senseless people? Isn't he your father and creator? Didn't he make you and sustain you? Remember the days of old. Consider the years past. Ask your father, he will tell you. Your elders, they will teach you. When the Most High gave their nations their inheritance and divided the human race, he set the boundaries of the peoples according to the number of the people of Israel. But the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob his own inheritance. He found them in a desolate land, in a barren, howling wilderness. He surrounded him, cared for him, and protected him as a pupil of his eye. He watches over his nest like an eagle, and hovers over his young. He spreads his wings, catches him, and lifts him up on his pinions. The Lord alone led him, with no help from a foreign God. He made him ride on the heights of the land and eat the produce of the field. He nourished him with honey from the rock and oil from the flint-like rock, cream from the herb and milk from the flock, with the fat of rams from Bashan, and goats with the choice of grain and wheat. With the choicest grains of wheat, you drank wine from the finest grapes. Then Jeshurun became fat and rebelled. He became fat, bloated, and gorged. He abandoned God, the God who made him, and scorned the rock of his salvation. They provoked his jealousy with foreign gods. They enraged him with detestable practices. They sacrificed to demons, but not God, to gods they had not known, new gods that had just arrived, which your fathers did not fear. You ignored the rock who gave you birth. You forgot the God who gave birth to you. When the Lord saw this, he despised them, provoked them to anger by his sons and daughters. He said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what will become of them, for they are a perverse generation, unfaithful God, children. They have provoked my jealousy with their so-called gods. They have enraged me with their worthless idols. So I'll provoke their jealousy with an inferior people. I will enrage them with a fullest nation. For fire has been kindled because of my anger and burns on to the depths of Sheol. It devours the land and its produce. It scorches the foundations of the mountains. I will pile disasters against them. I will use up my arrows against them. They will be weak from hunger, ravaged by pestilence and bitter plague. I will unleash on them wild beasts with fangs, as well as venomous snakes that slither in the dust. Outside, the sword will beat their children, and inside there will be terror. A young man and a young woman will be killed, the infant and the gray-haired man. I would have said, I will cut them to pieces and blot out the memory of them from mankind, if I had not feared insult from my enemy, or feared that these foes might misunderstand and say, our own hand has prevailed. It wasn't the Lord who did all this. Israel is a nation lacking sense, with no understanding at all. If only they were wise, they would figure it out. They would understand their fate. How could one man pursue 1,000 or two put 10,000 to flight, unless their rock had sold them, unless the Lord had given them up? But their rock is not like our rock. Even our enemies concede. For the vine is the vine from Sodom, and their fields from Gomorrah. Their grapes are poisonous, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is serpent's venom, the deadly poison of cobras. Is it not stored up with me, sealed up in my vaults? Vengeance belongs to me, I will repay. In time, their foot will slip, for their day of disaster is near, and their doom is coming quickly. The Lord will indeed vindicate his people and have compassion on his servants when he sees that their strength is gone, and no one is left, slave or free. He will say, where are their gods, the rock they found refuge in? Who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank up the wine for the drink offerings? Let them rise up and help you. Let it be a shelter for you. See now that I alone am he, but there's no God but me. I bring death and I give life. I wound and I heal. No one can rescue anyone from my hand. I raise my hands to heaven and declare, as sure as I live forever, when I sharpen my flashing sword, my hand takes hold of judgment. I will take vengeance on my adversaries, and I will repay those who hate me. I will make my arrows drunk with blood, while my sword devours flesh, the blood of the slain and the captives, the head of the enemy leaders. Rejoice, you nations, concerning his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will take vengeance on his adversaries. He will purify his hand and his people. Moses came with Joshua, son of Nun, and recited all the words of the song in the presence of the people. After Moses finished reciting all these words to Israel, he said to them, take to heart all these words I am giving you as a warning to you today, that you may command your children and to carefully follow the words of this law. For they are not meaningless words to you, but they are your life. And by them you will live long in the land you are crossing the Jordan to possess. On that same day, the Lord spoke to Moses, go up to Mount Nebo in Abarim, range in the land of Moab, across from Jericho, and View the land of Canaan I am giving the Israelites as a possession. Then you will die on that mountain that you go up, and you will be gathered to your people, just as your brother Aaron died on Mount Hor, and he was gathered to his people. For both of you broke faith with me among the Israelites at the waters of Meribah, Kadesh, in the wilderness of Zin, by failing to treat me as holy in their presence. Although from a distance you will view the land I am giving the Israelites, you will not go there.